Hello, and in this video we're going to be looking at helping our users when they're adding data into our application. In other words, what data can they put into different controls and what are we expecting? We'll be covering that right after these words. Hello and welcome to my next video in which we are getting started with Open Insight 10, and today we're going to be working on the MP Patients form again. So we'll just select that from either the quick launch menu or from the recent items just by clicking it. And okay, in the last lesson we added a number of buttons for different ways of giving an error message to our users. Which option did you choose? I went for the lost focus event. So when the data has been entered and we leave this control, we're going to fire off the code. And the code that I went for was the third of the three options. So it was my specific message, but I did add an additional 2 lines of code in there. One to clear the date because obviously it's an invalid date, and to give focus back to that control, and that's the code that I used on the lost focus event. So if I now test run that window and I'll just drop in a date of 20/02/2019, then we get our visual and our audio indicator that there is something wrong. When we click OK, it clears it out. So hopefully you have chosen one of the 3, whichever you're happy with. Now, one of the other issues that we have here is if I enter the 11th of July 1967, because we're in Europe, we tend to go date and month. If I now tab off, I get the 7th of November because I've gone for the DL validation, because I want to have the full month displaying to remove any ambiguity for my friends in the US and people outside of Europe. I've now got this issue where I'm using an American format date, not the European date. Now, just to underline what I'm saying here, in the validation, both on the dictionary and also at this level, for dates, we have a whole list of different options that we can have. So you could just have D, which will give you the 1st of March 2009. And if you entered that as 03/01/2009, you'll get that because it's an American format. There are some European options down here. So DE, you've got D2E, D2/E, they're all the European formats. So if we were to enter 1/3/2009, we're going to get the 1st of March 2009. As I said, I've gone with DL, which causes us this particular issue, but it's a format that I like. So do think about your conversion and your validation and things for your controls. So that's all well and good, but how do my users know what format to enter the date into? Well, there's a number of ways that we can manage that. So the first way is that we could just go into the control here, so the edit line on the properties, and if we scroll to the top, we've got a tooltip. So the tooltip we could open, and we could add in here data format, and this prompt requires the date in the format, so it's going to be month, date, year, and we could just have a large icon, information, okay that, and then when we run the form and our users come to the control, and they mouse over it, they will get a little message that pops up, date format, blah blah blah. Okay, the graphic didn't look great on that, so let's just go in and change it to just a regular icon. So okay, that, and we test run, and we get to the control, and we just mouse over it. We get the message that comes up. Now obviously if you're going to be entering data very quickly, you can see that there's a moment or two before that help pops up. So in some respects that doesn't really work for me, so I'm going to clear that out. So we'll okay that one. Now the other thing that we could do is if we come down to the edit mask option down here. Now for the edit mask you need to know what to fill in. And if you go to Carl's blog, now I spend quite a lot of time milling around in Carl's blog here. So it's revdevx.com, and if I do edit mask as a search and we search for that, then the first option that comes up is edit lines and edit masks, which is great. That's what we're working on. Now in here there's a whole load of information, but what I wanted to draw your attention to is this section here. Now these are the types of characters that we can enter in. So a D for a digit, a lowercase d for a digit or a space, C for an alpha character, etc, etc. And then just down here for the date mask we've got capital D D, capital D D, D D D, da 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 da. Now these three lines, 1, 2 and 3, they actually correspond to the forms designer. So if I just go back into the edit mask, so the format mask is going to be DD space DD space DD DD. The input mask is going to be underscore underscore and then a forward slash underscore underscore forward slash underscore 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 underscore, and if we tab to the default character then it just gives us the underscore because that is the default. I think you can change that, but we'll just go with the default. So if we test run the form, then we get our mask, and I can go into here and I'll put the 11th of July 1967. But when we tab off and we move to other controls, you'll see that we don't get July. So is that the 11th of July or is that the 7th of November? So what we can do instead is, if we won't bother saving that. So what we'll do is we'll go into the edit line, we will clear out the edit mask, and we're going to go for something that I think is very, very much more informative in this particular instance, and that's a Q banner. So the Q banner in here that we're going to put in is going to be month month slash date date slash year 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 year. So we click OK. Now when we test run the form, we can see straight away that we're going to require a month, a day and a year. And when the user accesses that control, that disappears, and we can go the 7th month, the 11th day of 1967, and when we tab off we get the correct date that we want. So when we clear that out we get that same mask back, and I think that's quite a nice little Q pointer, Q tip for helping our users, and it tells them exactly what we need. Whereas the edit mask just says I want 2 characters, 4 characters, but it doesn't actually say what order. So that would work. The edit mask would work very well for things like phone numbers in the States. They don't necessarily work very well in the UK because our initial sets of numbers, the area codes, can be different numbers, so either 4 or 5 or 3. So you have to be a little bit careful and know the geographical region that you're working in. But maybe something like a part number, where a part number is made up of 3 digits, 2 characters and 4 digits, where the first 3 digits are an area location, then the characters denote the category, and then the last set of characters denote the actual part number. That will work very well. And you could have numeric, and then you'd have like a hyphen or some character in there, and then character, hyphen, digit. You get the idea. But those are the differences. Hopefully this video has explained the difference between them and you found it useful. I'll catch you on the next video coming very soon. Take care. Bye bye.